Ishvaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We're on verse 34 or 35? One of the two. We'll start from 34. So here we are in Amrutanubhav, chapter 1, Shiva Shakti Samavesh, and we are looking at how this creation is a play between Lord Shiva and Shakti and his consort. Meaning, how this creation is a play between consciousness and matter. And this Shiva and Shakti, consciousness and matter, they are not separate from each other. They are one and the same, appearing as two. That's all. and the subtle truth. So we look at it at subjective level. What is this Shiva Shakti or conscious and matter? It is the self and the mind. The potentiality of the self is expressing as the mind. Then go further, that within the mind, again the same principle is functioning as aham vritti and idam vritti. And again, I cannot be without that, and that cannot exist without the I. For I to be as I, that is required. For subject to be subject, object is required. Only in relation to object, subject is called a subject. And object is that which cannot be without a subject. Because object is for the subject. It doesn't have an independent existence. So here we saw in the 34th OV, Kante chiya bhida avarala hoya jaga yevda angavala ubhada ziye veena. He says, for the sake of his beloved Shakti, he himself becomes the world. However, without her, he drops even his body. Who? Shiva. For the sake of her. What do you mean by for sake of her, he becomes the world? Because of his intrinsic love for her, he manifests his potentiality. Good. He manifests his potentiality. That potentiality then, as we have seen before, and in its absence, he even sheds his body and becomes Paramashiva. Exactly the same way, in the absence of objectivity, the aham vritti also doesn't need to be called a vritti. Aham, without a thought, or without a vritti, is the reality. It is appearing as a thought. The I is appearing as a thought only because of the objectivity. See how beautiful it is. So here let's see what Swamiji says. For the sake of Shakti, because she is manifested as names and form just to satisfy her, he, Shiva, has taken the responsibility of supporting all the names and forms. Okay, differently. Because names and forms cannot exist without the substratum. Without the substratum, it cannot. The waves cannot exist without the, here it is a very limited example, without the ocean. But what is ocean? Water. So water has taken a form of ocean to allow the expression of waves on its surface. From water's point of view, there are no waves. Exactly the same way. Supporting all the names and forms. With every nama rupa, Paramatma is associated in the form of Asti Bhati Priya, that is consciousness, conscious, blissful existence. Asti means existence, Bhati means knowledge, and Priya means blissful. Priya means that which is Ananda Surup. So, just like every wave is nothing other than water, exactly the same way, everything in this creation is not other than that one reality. Go into your mind first, before getting into the mind. Even the mind is not other than the self. Even the mind is not other than the self. That self then allows itself to, even though it is the substratum of everything, yet it appears as I. Allows itself to take a form. Thought is a form. Thought is a form which begins and then ends. I also begins and ends. So we are making this whole thing as subjective. And why does it do it? Because that is because it is, not because of any reason. It is just happening. Out of his love, if you want, from Shiva's point of view, out of his love for the consort, out of his love for his potentiality, he is ready to take the form. He is ready to come down and not remain the one without a second. He is ready to. But because he has taken the form does not mean that he has forgotten himself. He never forgets himself. We have forgotten. We as we have forgotten. And that's the tragedy. That we have never forgotten ourselves, yet it seems we have forgotten ourselves. Because how can I forget I? Thus, instead of trying to reject the names and forms as the Mithyavadi advise, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, Mithyavadi meaning, when they use the word Mithyavadi, they say the Shankar Vedanta. I am not the body, I am not the... let go of all the names and forms. Come to the self. So here no. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, do not try to reject the names and forms. It is absurd as trying to eliminate sight of the waves while trying to understand the ocean. So don't try to get rid of the thoughts. Because mind's job is to think. Mind's job is to think. Then where is your problem as a seeker? The problem is in the approach. You are thinking about the thoughts. Then what should you be doing? Witness them. With this understanding that even these thoughts are my vibhuti. These thoughts are the vibhuti. Vibhuti meaning the glory. Glory of the self or glory of the Lord. Lord alone is appearing as the thoughts. Lord alone is everything in this creation is not other than the Lord. Then these thoughts that are coming are also my glory, are also the glory of the Lord. Look at in the dream. Every thought of every person in the dream is the glory of the mind, isn't it? It's not come from outside. Maybe in the dream all those people are thinking individually. You are also holding on to a particular body in the dream, identified with the body. You are seeing all of them separate. But when you wake up, what is your experience? Yes, on one hand that it was all an imagination, but on the other hand, when you inquire into it a little bit, that the mind alone became the whole experience. Mind alone became the bodies, the breath, the incoming and outgoing breath, all the emotions, all the thoughts, all the egos, the space, air, fire, water, earth, one. And what is mind? Nothing but the consciousness. So that same consciousness appeared as you in the dream and appeared as the rest of the experience in the dream. Try to remain in that poise in the waking, that the same consciousness that I am essentially is in here, not only as the consciousness but also as the body, breath, mind, intellect, and the entire creation. How is it? How is it? Don't try to work it out. Allow it to reveal. But it will reveal only when your attention is on the pure consciousness. Accept it. That I don't. Who is not accepting it? The mind. Let it not accept, because all thoughts are only in the mind, and you know the thoughts are coming and going. You take the position of being the observer of the thoughts, and understand this observer is the substratum. This observer in its essence is the substratum. That observer alone became the aham and idam. That observer alone became the whole creation. How? I don't know. Let it reveal. As in you, because when we are in the mind, we want an experience. Without experience, mind doesn't function. It wants something or the other. It wants to touch, feel, taste, think, ideate, conceptualize. But self is not a concept. You as the observer, witness, in its essence is not a witness, or is not a concept. It is all that there is. And that infinite one you are trying to precipitate into a concept in your mind. Yes, but that is how it is. So the doorway to that is think about who am I, and then come back. If you are in the mind. But if you are able to observe this whole inquiry going on in the mind, and you are observing it, because that is your direct experience. Nobody can say that I am not experiencing the thoughts in my mind. Everyone experiences. And you are experiencing the thoughts in your mind only because you are other than the thoughts. Only because you are other than the thoughts. This is what Bhagavan Krishna advises in Gita chapter 10. Begin by remembering the Lord in a few selected locations called Vibhuti, like in the Ashwatha tree, the Himalayas. So among the mountains, I am the Himalayas. Among the rivers, I am the Ganges. Among the trees, I am the Ashwatha tree. And among the men, I am Arjuna. And he goes on and on and on. Gradually, the remembrance will become so strong that every tree, every mountain, every river will remind us of the beloved Lord. So when we go to Falls Creek, think it is Himalayas. Don't think it is Falls Creek. When you go to Yara River, think it is Gangaji. But it is a habit now. Whenever I go to any new place, and if there is a river, I take the river, sprinkle it on my head. Yamane cha Gange cha Yamane chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhum Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidham Guru. And you take a little bit of water, if it is morning, and you offer it to the river as an oblation. So this vision of seeing the divine expressing in and through the creation has to be developed. Because to focus on the observer is not easy. Because mind cannot focus on the observer. It can try, but it cannot. So here, understand these sadhanas of making the mind fixated, of single pointed mind, of removing all the vasanas from your mind, or all those type of thoughts, all those type of sadhanas of sitting still, of making your mind concentrated, all these is not told. It's unnatural. It's unnatural. All sadhanas are unnatural. Then what is natural? To be. To be is natural. All sadhanas are unnatural. To begin, till you come to this realization that everything is natural. Till you come to realize that everything is natural. So right now, you are studying this text, you are living your life. Why you have come to satsang? Because I want to come to know the truth. What will be the disposition of a realized master? Will he run away from anything? Will he seek the truth? Will he study the scriptures? Will he do any sadhana? He allows things to happen. If it takes him in that direction, that is also expression of the truth. We are not coming here. We say, oh, the truth is available in a satsang, or truth is available in meditation. But rest of the places, truth is not there. That is our approach. Whereas Mahatma's approach is, everywhere the truth is. Because everywhere I alone am. Because he has come to realize the self. See? So he says, and when all the names and forms disappear, Shiva is naked. That means he is abundantly experienced by us at every moment. This aparoksha anubhuti will never die away. Once we get established in the self as the self, knowing fully well that this self is not one per person, it is not other than Paramatma, it is the substratum of everything, then there is no coming back. For such a person, there is no rebirth, there is no death. So long as I am in this world of names and forms, let every name and form be understood as His glory, as what we said before. And when by His grace the names and forms no more carry any importance or bheda for me, then I see Paramatma alone. So see, this appearance of names and forms and disappearance of names and forms, that means manifestation and unmanifestation of names and forms, is a phenomena. Don't think that you are creating the names and forms. It is a phenomena. It is going on by its own accord. Unnecessarily we are taking charge. Unnecessarily we are getting identified that, now I am awake, so the waking world is there. Hey, Bewkoof. Waking world was there yesterday also. If yesterday you were in the dream and experiencing the dream, and today, day before yesterday also you experienced the dream, and when you wake up from the dream you say the dreamer day before yesterday and the dreamer yesterday, the dream experience was different, then how come you are pulling yesterday's waker into today? Drop it. This is the biggest trap we have created for ourselves in our thinking. So here he says that no more carry any importance or bheda for me, then I see Paramatma alone. When, see, this is your, once you have come to this understanding, you see all the ornaments. So you are seeing all the ornaments, but your experience is good. You see all the waves, but your experience is the water. You see all the limbs of your body, but your experience is I. Don't stop there. See the entire world of names and forms and experience the Paramatma. Be the see him, develop that vision. Develop that vision. For that, you don't have to remove all the thoughts from the mind. To see the water, you don't have to remove all the waves. To see the water, you don't have to remove the waves. To see the gold, you don't have to remove the various forms the gold has taken. Similarly, to see the Paramatma, you do not need to remove the names and forms. Yet, the phenomena is that sometimes the names and forms come, sometimes the names and forms subside. So take the opportunity. Rather than, see, when we say, oh, but they say chitta vritti nirodha iti yogaha, removal of, what is that? Dissolution of all thoughts is yoga. When they make that statement, where is your attention? On the mind or the thoughts. But where is Jnaneshwar Maharaj telling us to be the substratum, be the self? If your attention is on the manifestation and unmanifestation, you are still caught up in the mind. You are not the observer. If you are the observer, then whether manifestation is there or unmanifestation is there, it is not creating a dent in you. It is not disturbing you. It is not invoking a reaction from you. Reaction usually happens as ownership of the thought, attraction or indulgence in the thought, in whichever way, as a like or dislike or whatever. So you are just the observer. Watch yourself. If some vulgar thought comes in your mind, how do you react? If thought of killing, yesterday someone told me, sent me yesterday was Eid. Yesterday or day before yesterday? Friday. Friday was Eid. Bakri Eid is tomorrow. Okay. So they sent me a video that the father is in Bakri Eid, they cut the lamb, goat or whatever. And the young children are there, so many of them, different scenes. And the child is screaming not to kill the goat. The father is coming down with the thing to cut, the child has gone and grabbed the goat. Then another one, he is telling his teenage son to cut, but he picks it up and drops the thing because he's crying. And so many of the cases, they know it is life. They know it is life. Okay? That life is precious. See? They are connected. That child is connected with that animal. See? That is connection. That is connection. That is identification. That is feeling for another life. Do you feel any guilt when all the people in your dream are dead the moment you wake up? I'm being very ruthless here. So what is that? That there is no feeling. It means no importance is given to it. So there is no identification with that because you understand that it is just an phenomena. Same way, this waking is also a phenomena. Wake up from it. This obsession that we have, that this waking is continuous from childhood till today, is the same person which is going on through his journey. it is the biggest ill, de- delusion or illusion that you have allowed to be influenced by. Get out of it. And for that, nothing needs to change. Only your disposition needs to change. Everything else will go on the way it is meant to. When you say, oh, everything will go on if it is as it is going on, once you come to yourself, then there is nothing else other than you. What will go on and what will not go on? Then even if that phenomena, as long as the body is there, you will experience the phenomena. But in that phenomena, you will see it as your own glory, as the glory of the divine. We are putting in these words, but this is how Krishna looked at the whole world, even while he was manifesting on this earth for a particular purpose. But he did so many things, but he was never the owner of any doing. Never. Can you say that? That I am not doing anything? That I am not listening right now? See? The truth without any upadhi of names and forms, the truth from water's point of view, there are no waves. From gold point of view, there are no ornaments. From the self point of view, there are no names and forms. And it's very simple. The moment you wake up, all the names and forms in the dream become neutralized. You wake up from the waking, get into the Turiya state as the scriptures say, or be the self. All the names and form in the waking will also get neutralized. It's an idea which is being presented. But that is how the words have their own limitations. That's all we can say. Get there. Thus, in this OV, Sant Jnaneshwara makes two statements. One, that Paramatma is every name and form, and the second, Paramatma is transcendental to all the names and forms. So understand, Paramatma is the material cause and the efficient cause of the total creation. Material cause, the material out of which the creation is created. What is the material out of which it is created? No, names and form is not the material. It is made up of space, air, fire, water and earth. The creation. Creation is made out of consciousness and matter. Matter is then manifests as sattva, rajas, tamas, and the sattva, rajas, tamas then go into formulating the mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar, and the indriyas, the senses, and the gross materials. So that is what matter does. But what is matter? Matter is the potentiality of the Lord alone. And why you are saying Lord now, where has the Paramatma gone? Paramatma, when he becomes aware of his potentiality, is called the Lord. Paramashiva, when he becomes aware of his potentiality or he invokes his potentiality, why will he invoke it? Why can't he do? He's got all the powers. He can do whatever he wants if he wants, and if he doesn't want, he will not do it. So the moment he becomes aware of his potentiality, that Paramashiva is now called as Shiva. You understand? So that one alone has become Shiva and Shakti, the potential and the potentiality. Because there are two words, potential and potentiality with an extra Y, doesn't mean that they have become two. And then that is the nature of potentiality to manifest and unmanifest as names and forms, as the entire world of as the creation. See? But from Paramashiva point of view, it has always been complete, it is complete, and it will continue to be complete. For his point of view, never anything has happened. Purnamada Purnamidam. Always complete. So, like Bhagwan says in the ninth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, I think fourth and fifth verse, that the whole world is in me, I am in the whole world. Neither the world is in me, neither I am in the world, yet I am supporting the whole world, and at the same time I am transcendental to the whole world. If you can, this whole thing is about that only, those two verses. If you think and contemplate about it, the whole hypnosis will be taken away. You will get dehypnotized. When this is understood, then we will appreciate the statement that the Lord may come to us in any and every form. So in fact, even at this moment, you are surrounded by the Lord alone. But in your egocentric existence, we are unable to appreciate the presence of the Lord. How does Lord express? As that child's love who doesn't want that animal to die. Love does not express only as kissing and smooching and hugging. It can be scolding also, because nothing is outside the divine. Everything is that. If guilt is getting precipitated, if desire is getting precipitated with regards to the world, then individuality is becoming strong. But you allow everything to express because it's happening by itself. You are not doing it. See, this morning, last night I put the alarm at 5:15. But I forgot it was AM. I should have put AM. I put it as PM. But I went to sleep thinking that I must get up at 5:15. And I got up at 5:15. And I said, why did the alarm didn't go on? And I checked the phone. Oi, it is PM. I could thank God. Colin would scold me that I am going back. You see? Many times it happens. Even if alarm is not there, you just wake up. Just waking happens, sleep happens, hunger happens, everything is happening. Unnecessarily we are taking charge of it. When this is understood, then we will appreciate the statement that the Lord may come to us in any and every form, since He alone is in every form. So He is available everywhere. Become available. And that is what is called that you start going through life not accepting the life as separate or as successful or difficult. You start and living the life with ananda, with bliss. That everything is His expression, nothing to run away from, nothing to run towards. Just let it unfold. Just let it unfold, whichever way. Then if difficulties come, difficulties are not difficulties. Success comes, success is not a success. Why? That is also expression of the divine. Difficulties are also expression of the divine. If we remain in the poise, then what that difficulty has come to teach this mind, the mind will learn and unfold itself. You take charge. Oh, that difficulty, why the world is becoming difficult for me, why this situation in my life. The moment you take charge of it, you you distance yourself from the possibility of solution. You distance yourself from the possibility. But if you don't take charge, very quickly it will dissolve away. Very quickly. This you have to experiment with small things in your life. And sometimes we all do succumb, isn't it? But it's a question of continuous application. This is what we are doing in meditation. But meditation is successful in this direction only when your outer life is successful in this. Both ways. Apply what is going on. If the more you apply it in meditation, in the outer life, that will be its expression. There also it will become the same way. You will not take charge of anything. You will remain a witness, just like in meditation. So in this way, therefore, let us not deny any name and form when one contemplates on this again and again. The truth which is not other than me is revealed to me as the naked truth. So, no ragadvesh, no likes and dislikes, no hatred, no love, the way we know it in the worldly sense. Accept everything as it is. Otherwise, bad thought comes, we feel guilty. Good thought comes, we get excited. If some person comes, so wonderful person, because they called me for bhiksha. Another person doesn't call me for bhiksha, it's okay. It is not important. Someone gives dakshina, good person. Doesn't give dakshina, bad person. This is stupidity. This is how we keep dividing the world. Stop dividing it. Remain in that neutral zone. Neutral zone is sakshi. Neutral zone is not owning anything. Neutral is seeing the entire expression as the manifestation of the Lord. Not only outside, but inside also. Suggest this to your mind again and again and again and again and again and again. And come to know this also, that mind is not other than the self. Self with thoughts is mind, mind without thoughts is self. Where will you escape? Then you are in the natural state. Then you are in the natural state. The Shiva who was unmanifest before dawn of knowledge becomes manifest in this very world of names and forms. So knowledge, how does knowledge come about? By way of thoughts, isn't it? So, where was this Shiva before thoughts of Shiva? Where was I before the thought of I? Where was the self before the thought of the self? Where was it? It was, but now it has become manifest as thought, isn't it? There is. जो हा ठाववेर ही मंद रूपे उवा ये लेपणे हार पे तो झाला जिये चैनी पडपे Vishwarupa. Before creation, he was unmanifest. Unmanifest. In sleep, you were unmanifest. When you wake up, you become manifest with the form. In the dream, you are subtle and subtle manifest. Here you are gross manifest. In sleep, you are unmanifest. Understand the concept? So here, before creation, he was unmanifest, that although plenitude existed, it could not be experienced. Due to her great power, he has attained the multiplicity of names and forms due to the power of the Shakti. That one reality has become the manyness that you see, the manyness of the names and forms. So here he is not saying that the Shakti has become the names and forms. It's the same thing, because Shakti is not other than Shiva. Shakti is not the material. Shiva is the material. The material cause, if we say Shakti is the material cause of the creation, we are going in the wrong direction. Then Shakti will have an independent existence other than the creator, if she is the material. But that is not the truth. What did we say? Paramashiva is the material cause as well as the efficient cause. He is the creator, and the material out of which he has created the creation is also himself. What is that? Satchidananda. Then how did he do that? By taking support of the Shakti. Think.
He himself is the Shakti too.
That's right.
Yes.
Paramashiva himself has become Shiva as well as Shakti. The pure consciousness itself has become the consciousness and the mind, the matter, the potential and the potentiality, the aham and the idam. Unmanifest is that which does not move. Unmanifest is that which does not move because there is no activity in there. Activity happens when? Where is activity possible? Oh, talk it from principal point of view, not waking dream or nothing like that. How is activity possible? What is the minimum requirement for activity? Huh?
Idam vritti.
Huh?
Idam vritti should be there.
What is activity in its essence? Don't say truth, okay? What is action? How do you define action?
When there is individual.
You're thinking to come to the basic, not individuality, not self, not mind. What is the definition of action? Verb. Remember Sanskrit now. What is a verb? It denotes action. Now what is action? Movement from one point to the other. You cannot have movement here. From here I am moving nowhere. Then it is not movement. Movement means point A to point B only then. Only where there is duality, that's movement right. Is possible. That's right. And when you say that it is the mind, yes, but I want clarification. Okay. Mind is nothing but duality. So, movement is possible only between 2 points. Understand?
But mind in itself is it is consciousness,
pure consciousness in its essence, yes.
But it that has gone through a transformation. There must be a division.
Okay, just be careful here now. What you are saying is, it seems to be that way.
Okay.
Consciousness has not. When we say Paramashiva has become Shiva and Shakti, or mind has gone into, essentially it is pure consciousness, but it is gone through division. It is not the reality. Division of mind is not it is a phenomena. And what is phenomena?
An appearance.
That exists in its own absence. And therefore only Vedanta has the courage to say all this is only a phenomena. The truth is only one, and that is Paramashiva. And these are all its expressions. Yes, you accept, we are talking about it, but actually it is one. You don't get lost in all this. This is all just impressing on the mind so that you can come to the source. You come to recognize that this Paramashiva is not other than you. That he is not just in you, he is everywhere. It is the only material. But you are seeing that this material of body is separate to me. That body is a female body is separate to me. I am a man, this is a female, this is fat, this is thin. We create these differences. Our vision is not that of unifying vision. That unifying vision is possible only when we think, contemplate, accept ourselves as the pure consciousness. Only then. See, yesterday in Bhagavad, this is the question that the student asks. He says that the objects of the world, the Vishayas, they enter into the mind. If I open my eyes, I look at you, you have entered into my mind. Automatically the mind says, Suruj. If I look at this, I see the carpet. See, immediately the mind says carpet. Phone. It will never say this phone is the carpet. It will say carpet is the phone. It will never. So the objects enter into the mind and the mind enters into the object. And the student is asking the Lord, how do I separate these two? How do I separate this admixture of the objectivity of the Vishaya with the Chitta and the Chitta with the Vishayas? How do I separate the object from the mind and mind from the object? How do I create a demarcation line? How do I pull them away? Because I am unable to. And in the story of Hamsa Geet, the teachings by Lord in the form of Hamsa as a swan, that begins. So here, my important point that I want to make here is, the student's question was about the objects of the world and the mind. And as long as his attention is on this topic, he can never find a solution. And the Lord tells him, your question itself is wrong. Think again. The more you inquire into the world, the more questions about the world will come. You think about the unifying principle, the truth, the conscious presence. Who am I? What is my essence? Why am I asking what is my essence? Don't I know that I am? Come to the core and all these questions will become invalid. So our problem is this. Our problem is we are thinking about the world. Even here in this satsang, we are thinking about the truth through the thoughts which are constituting the world alone. Which is constituting the world alone. But that is the only tool we have. So use this tool in such a way so that your obsession with thinking, your obsession with objectifying everything gets dissolved. And in its place, the expression of that one as everything becomes revealed. So here he says, unmanifest is that which does not move. The mind is not moving in sleep, is it? So what is moving? Thoughts are moving. Is the mind moving? No. What is moving? The river is moving. Is the riverbed moving? No. Think. Now apply it to yourself. The waking, dream and deep sleep are moving. Are you moving? No. But because your attention is on the outside, on the names and forms, you feel that I have moved from sleep to dream to waking. But actually speaking, when I ask you, did you experience waking, dream and deep sleep yesterday? You say yes, which means you did not move. You were in your own position. These three came and went. You understand? So here when it says unmanifest is that which does not move upon within you also. When I don't know if you guys were there for the chapter of the Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para. No. So in that also the same thing comes. Vaikhari is gross movement, Madhyama is subtle movement, Pashyanti is no movement. But the potential of movement is there. But the movement has not started. The bifurcation has not started. So what is the difference? In the gross, the thought in your mind and the object are separate. So the thought Suruj and the person Suruj, they are separate. In the subtle, the thought of Suruj and the person Suruj, both are in the mind, but separate. You understand? And in the Pashyanti, in the deep sleep state, both are absent. But when it becomes manifest, again that potentiality to manifest, that thought to manifest, that thought and the object to manifest, it's there, no? So therefore, I'm talking about no movement in unmanifest. I'm trying to bring your point to that. So unmanifest is that where there is no movement. Potential is there. Up to the point of creation alone is Paramatma in unmanifest form. Although he is plentifully present, there is not a hint of his presence before creation, because the knower known difference has not yet taken place. So instead of saying that the world is a problem, I need to get away from it to know the truth. No. It's the Lord alone, the Paramatma alone, who was unmanifest before, now is manifesting for you as the entire creation, as all the names and forms. See, the moment you accept this, what will be your quality of interaction with everything and everyone? Huh? With love, elegance, love, compassion, empathy. Then even that step that you take will be with extreme compassion, that you are not hitting the earth. Then when you are touching someone, you will touch it with extreme care, and that person will come to know that. It's not just, hi, how are you? You know how they come and thump your back. See? Then everything in this creation is cherished as it is. Now you are seeing everywhere something is going on. Hong Kong something is going on, Kashmir something is going on, North Korea something is going on, Turkey something is going on. Half the Europe is going bankrupt. America and China, big problem. Australia entering a recession. America entering a recession. In fact, the whole planet is entering a recession. So much upside down everything is going on. So much. And at the same time, poverty, floods, so much floods in India, in Europe, extreme heat, 42 degrees, which they never experienced in their life. So are you going to take all this? Oh my God, why Lord is doing all this? What should be your approach? If it is expression of that one divine, then you will not react to all these things. You will just accept this is how the world is at this very moment. No, but why is it now like this? People ask, no? When has been a time when things have not happened like this? Someone was saying, oh, young boy, he came to meet me. He says, oh, I'm everything in this, we must save the species, people are killing this and killing that, we must save species. I said, I challenged him. I said, which species can you save? Could you save the iron, the men from the Iron Age? Can you save that species? Once upon a time, there were, the big tuskers were there. Could you save them? Could you save the jaguar, that leopard with the fangs coming out? Could you save that? He says, no. I said, so what does that mean? That change is the nature of creation. He says, yes. I said, then what are you going to hold on to? What can you save? He said, every day, thousands and millions of new species are being born. Every day, every moment, thousands and millions of species are going out of creation. Man doesn't have that capability to see how they get excited and fascinated if they find some one new thing. But every day it is going on. That is the nature of creation. Change. So, should we not take care of environment? I said, take. But do it as a pastime. Don't be too serious about it and disturb yourself. From a seeker's point of view, let other people do it. If you see the whole creation as an expression of the divine, automatically you will start interacting with the creation in the right manner. Look at all the aborigines. They live with the nature. And the new civilization, we say their system is wrong and we create our own systems only to find that our systems don't work. Their systems were working better because they were more friendly to the environment, never taking more than required and allowing it to rejuvenate. But modern man is not like that. He wants, and he doesn't care about anything. Caring comes only when you see the auspiciousness in it or divinity in it. So here he says that although he is plentifully present, there is not a hint of his presence before creation, because the knower-known difference has not yet taken place. So when does the Lord manifest? When does the Lord manifest? If he was unmanifest before, Paramatma, Paramashiva, when does he manifest?
When he becomes aware of potentiality.
Only when knower-known difference appears. When you are in sleep, you are unaware of yourself. Then when do you become aware of yourself? Only when I and that, aham and idam appear in the mind at a subjective level. Exactly the same thing. You cannot have one set of rules for yourself and another set of rules for the totality. Totality and individuality, the rules are similar. Thus, although abundantly present, he is absolutely absent. Although abundantly present, he is absolutely absent. Why? For you, he is present. Although the water is abundantly present as n number of waves, and yet absolutely absent, because from water's point of view there is no wave. Only I am, only the water is. And he doesn't say that also, because that's his nature. Exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. The Lord, even though he is appearing as names and forms, yet he is absolutely absent. Another way you can say, once he appears as names and forms, he as he is becomes absent. It's unavailable to you. From your point of view, when you are obsessed with names and forms, you are unable to see him. When you are obsessed with names and forms, he becomes unavailable. He becomes absent for you. If he becomes present for you, the names and form become absent for you. So is it this or that? Is it this against that? Is it the Lord against the names and forms, or the names and forms that we can have only one at a time? No. Understand the principle that if you become available to the Lord, to the Paramashiva, from Paramashiva's point of view, there is nothing called creation. He is undisturbed by the creation. He allows whatever is happening, it's happening. How much are you disturbed by where the blood is flowing inside your body? How much are you disturbed by how many times the eyes are going to blink? How much are you disturbed by the various organs within your body are functioning at their optimum level or not? You are not even aware. Yet hydrochloric acid is getting produced, fecal matter is getting produced, urine is getting produced, phlegm is getting produced, blood is getting pushed here and there, and if there are some diseased cells, then they are also multiplying themselves, isn't it? Are you aware? No. Yet everything is happening exactly the same way. Lord is with himself as he is, yet everything is happening. This same unmanifest Paramatma becomes many because of the inherent potentiality called Shakti in the Satchidananda Tattva. So how does this one become many? Because of the potentiality. So when in Shankar Vedanta we say that avyakta, when it becomes avyakta, unmanifest. When it becomes manifest, the first expression is Sattva Rajas Tamas. From Sattva Rajas Tamas then came the space, air, fire, water, earth, and all the senses, and this and that and that and that. Here the completely different thought is the same, but here our attention is being brought that avyakta, that unmanifest, is the potentiality of the Shiva and not other than the Shiva. It is not to be rejected. It is not to be discarded. It is inherent within the Shiva. And how it is inherent? As manifest or unmanifest. The potentiality. The Chandogya Upanishad says, before creation, Sat alone was. This does not mean that creation manifested on a particular day. What is meant here is that creation is not the reality, because behind that creation, pure existence alone is the reality. That pure existence never comes and goes, is never born and never dies, and that you are. So, where is the question of fear of death? Where is the excitement of birth? Then there is no loss. Because he is a karta, bhokta, he is a karta, a bhokta, a vikari, avinashi, etc. Means he is a karta means he is not the doer, a bhokta he is not the enjoyer, a vikari he does not get modified, avinashi he is indestructible, and such are the adjectives that are used for this pure consciousness, which is the permanent principle, the unifying principle. He is not perceived because there is no one to know the truth as knower other than the truth. He is not perceived, he is not come to know because he is alone that there is. There is no one else other than him, other than the reality, to know the reality, because reality is one without a second. Reality is all pervasive. Then who will come to know the reality? Who will come to know the reality? This idea that I have to reach reality, I want to gain moksha, it is good in the initial stages. But as we go further, this idea that I want to gain liberation also has to be dropped, or let it drop by itself. When this realization comes, what am I trying to realize? The self. Am I stupid? I am already that. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita says in the 6th chapter, Uddhared Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasadayet. Raise yourself by yourself, in yourself, and not by not self. Then what is not self? Thoughts are not self. Emotions are not self. Activity is not self. Japa is not self. Thinking is not self. Here it is told, raise yourself by yourself, in yourself. So the only support, so raise the consciousness by the consciousness, in the consciousness. Then it is not told, use the thoughts to raise the consciousness. It is not told. What are we doing? We are using the thoughts to raise ourselves. This whole drama, this whole conversation that is going on, it is going on within the mind. But if you can come from the disposition that mind is not other than the consciousness, the manifest consciousness is the mind. Manifest consciousness is the mind. Then you are in the right space. But that statement if you remove that statement and remain in the mind as the mind, then no solution, no abidance. So raise yourself, in yourself, by yourself, not by anything that is anatma. Anatma is anything other than consciousness. And what is anatma? That which comes and goes, that which is temporary, that which is ephemeral. Don't use that as a support to come to know the truth, because anything that comes and goes cannot take you to the truth. So activity cannot take you to the truth. Let that activity be at physical level, let it be at the breath level, let it be at the thought level, let it be at the conceptual level. It cannot take you to the truth. It is limited. And truth is unlimited. How can limited take you to unlimited? But that's what we are doing here. Get out. But what are we doing? We are impressing on ourselves that we should not fall into this trap. He is not perceived because there is no one to know the truth as knower. In the absence of the knower, truth reveals. Knower always will have something to know. The knower is there because of known. Seer is there because of seen. Experiencer is there because of experienced. As long as duality is there, that truth is far away, even though present plentifully, but not available. Don't. Then where is the knower? Where is the experiencer? Where is the seer? Where is the hearer? Where is the all this? You are that. You are the understander right now. You are nodding. You are the experiencer. You are nodding. You are the knower of the words that you are coming to your ears. You are nodding. Don't take that position. Don't take that position. Then what should I do? Oh, remain empty. Don't hold on to anything. Allow these words to wash your mind. That's all. But don't hold on to it. Don't make it into a concept. Don't make it into an understanding. Because if you make understanding, you are concretizing it. How does it become concretized? As a concept, as an idea. Don't. Remain empty. And the more it washes away. But at this time, how do you make it empty? The question is this now. How do you remain empty at this moment, even while listening to such wonderful thoughts of Jnaneshwar Maharaj? By not taking ownership, by shifting your attention to the one in whose presence this whole dialogue is going on. Don't focus on the words, focus on the one because of whom the words are being heard. Then you are where you are supposed to be. Then there is no seeking after that. Then he says, we'll conclude, enough. Creation takes place when the one with its inherent potentiality becomes many, as in Vishwarupa. Creation is maintained and sustained thereafter by relationship of the knower and the known. So this is the total creation we are talking about. We are not talking about the individual creation. Vishwarup is the manifestation of that one as many. That is Vishwarup. So if a person in the dream was to say, what is Vishwarup? What will you say? The self manifesting as the whole dream with all the variety is the Vishwarup, isn't it? Try experience that here in the waking. Try experience that. Not as a picture in your mind, because we have seen a lot of pictures of Vishwarup. Vishwarup means, Vishwa means the entire creation and Rup means form. So what is the entire form? The total form. Total form is the Vishwarup. And in your dream every day you have the entire, gods are also there, men are also there, demons are also there, animals are also there, past is also there, future is also there, present is also there. And you know that the mind alone or the self alone was expressing in and through all of them. The self that I am alone became the self of every person in the dream, isn't it? Vishwarup. having woken up to come to this conclusion is easy, isn't it? It's easy. That it was me only who was borrowing my consciousness, or expressing, this conscious alone was expressing through as the consciousness of all the people in the dream. Because that consciousness has not come from outside. The form of every being in the dream was also coming from me only, from the consciousness only. Vishwarup. Try to come to that disposition in the waking, that all these forms. So if that someone is scolding you, oh, why am I scolding myself? No reaction. I'm just joking here, but that disposition has to be there. This is total creation. Individuality has not precipitated yet. Ego hasn't come. From totality point of view, there is no individuality. From total ocean, there is no individual wave. He sees the individual wave only as its own extension. So according to our scriptures, there is only one individual, and that is the total individual. There is no individual. Individual is you have cooked your khichdi. From the phenomenal point of view, individuality is a principle. It's a phenomena. Not one per person. It is one. The expression of consciousness through the total body is the phenomena that is going on. That one who is expressing through the total form is not attached to the form. Is not attached to the form. This is the Ishvara Srishti. Jiva Srishti, individual creation, it gets attached to the form. Then the Jiva Srishti begins. Anyway, we will talk about this in our next class, if I remember where I left. Verse 36, huh?
35 is done.
35 is done.
Is done.
Yeah. 36 will start. So creation is maintained only because of knower-known relationship. If you are the knower, if you are the experiencer, if you don't take yourself as the position of knower, experiencer, seeker, etc., etc., creation will collapse. Creation will collapse. Both ways. Either you remove all the known, or you remove the knower. Known, willful power. I am not the body, I am not the mind, so and so. Knower, you rediscover yourself to be the divine, to be not other than Shiva, to be the pure consciousness. Automatically the known gets neutralized. Everything becomes divinized then. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.